Okay, we're going to solve systems of linear equations by substitution, and you always want to remember the solution to a system of linear equations is the point of intersection. So your answer needs to be a point x comma y. All right, so for the first one in your packet, we're going to start with a problem that's already half done. You know the y, so this is basically this first equation is written in standard form as a linear equation in standard form, and this is just y equals 4 is going to be a horizontal line. So you already know the y value. So we just need to figure out what the x value is, so you'll use substitution. So wherever you see a y in the blue equation, you'll put in 4. There you go, one equation, one variable. Go ahead and solve for x, and you see that x is -1. We're not done yet, though. Remember, we need the point of intersection. So you go back in. Well, we know that y is 4, so -1, 4 is our point of intersection. Go back in, make sure that it works, and sure enough, it is -1, 4 makes a true statement. All right, so I'm going to give you a chance to try it. Go ahead and put that in. I'll stop the video. And then when you come back, I'll tell you what the answer is. Okay, so hopefully you went ahead and did that. And the answer, you should put x in for 3. And the answer should be x is 3 and y is -2. So 3, -2 is the answer. Get used to writing it out because it's like I said, these are the easy problems. We always start with simple problems first. Let's do the next one. Oops, which is, okay. So this is a linear equation in standard form. This just happens to be a linear equation, not written in any form, quote unquote, but we know what our x value is. So if you know what the x value is, you go up to the other equation and put in, wherever you see an x, you'll put in 2y minus 3. So they go ahead and do that for you. And when you do that, you get, well, when you get x equals 5, or sorry, y equals 5. So, but you're not done because you know what y equals, but now you have to find out what x equals. So you'll have to put x back in to the first either equation, but it's easiest to do in this equation because x is already solved. And when you do that, you get x equals 7. So the point of intersection is 7, 5, and you need to make sure it works in both equations. And this does. All right, you take a minute to do that. So go into the first equation, and wherever you see a y, you'll put in 6x minus 13. Go ahead and stop the video and do that. And then you can come check with me to make sure your answer is correct. Okay, so now see, both of these are now in standard form. So you can solve either equation for x or y. However, there's a strategy you want to use. Right? So we've got to rewrite one of the equations so that it's y equals the x stuff or x equals the y stuff. Okay? And here's the key to making your life happier. You don't want fractions. If possible, you want to pick a guy to solve for that doesn't create fractions. Well, look, you try to solve for the variable in either equation that has a coefficient of 1, because it's really nice when you have either the x or the y that has a coefficient of 1. If they both have coefficients of 1, it's not going to matter. So then once again, you solved the blue equation for y, and you get y equals 35 minus 10x. go back to the purple equation, do your solving, x equals 3. You're not done yet because you have to put it back into the equation. The other equation, wherever you see an x, you'll put in a 3, and you get y equals 5. So your solution is 3, 5, and then you should go back and check that it works in both equations. Both. You should check both. It has to be true for both. All right, so what if we decided we didn't want to solve for that y? We're going to solve for the x instead of the bottom equation. Right? So we go ahead and solve the bottom equation for x, but look at all these ugly, ugly fractions. It says yuck. Do you really want to go through with that whole mess? Right? So that thing's brutal. So if you can, you always solve for the guy. This says no coefficient, but it has a coefficient of 1 in front of it. Okay, so whether it's positive 1 or negative 1, that's the one you want to solve for. Let me see if I can get this to get bigger. There we go. I'm not sure why it won't stretch, but all right, so something like this, we're not going to, I wouldn't solve for substitution. There's a third way. We have graphing, substitution, and then tomorrow we're going to learn the third way to solve systems of equations. And if I would use this third way, which is very easy if you don't have a leading coefficient of 1 or negative 1. All right, so you go ahead and do that. Which one? I'll give you a hint. Which one should you solve for? Top equation. Is there any coefficient of 1 or negative 1? I don't see it. How about the bottom one? Good. I go ahead and solve for x. Once again, come up and check with me to make sure you have the correct answer. There you go. And that's it. Your homework will be a worksheet, and I will pass that out for you.